Welcome back, my adoring public, to more Trails of Cold Steel. Pharaoh Fiasco here, and when we last left off, the Heimdall field study had just concluded. Okay, and now, Wednesday, August, that's when the prologue took place, so we're getting close to the beginning of the game.
Mid-August.
Which is a weird thing to say.
It was the peak of summer, and the sweltering sun was beating down on the residents of Trista. After returning from Heimdall, we were given a whopping 5-day summer vacation before the school year resumed.
Was that sarcasm? Because I really couldn't tell.
Turns out, Thor sticks to its military roots, only granting extended vacations to students over the New Year's holiday.
Huh. So, this is right around a good time for Reen then.
However, nobles are allowed to visit home, ostensibly to give them time to become familiar with their family's holdings.
Yeah, right.
And, as you might expect, that meant most students from classes 1 and 2 spent summer away from Trista.
Thank Adios, no frickin' Patrick. Celine's there, though. Why is she at the Nobles
Meanwhile,
dorm?
classes 3 through 5 were stuck on campus, envying the nobility as they studied and trained as usual. The other members of Class 7 and I chose to stay in Trista as well, facing the heat with our fellow students.
Hey. Well, that's cool of them. Man, the Nobles get everything. Oh well. Now loading. So we're in mid-August. For the life of me, I can't remember what day the prologue took place on, or if they even told us which. I don't think so. Oh, what's this? It's so hot. I'm dying in here. I'm sick of this heat already. Talking about it is just making me feel even hotter. The Academy should install an orbital air conditioner. At least then it'd be a little easier to cope. An orbital air conditioner? What is that? Well, it's this device that blows out cool air to help regulate a room's temperature. Do they really not have air conditioners? Maybe it'd help if you think of it as the opposite of a stove. It's really hard to get a handle on where exactly they are technology-wise. Wow, that's some kind of wizardry. I've heard of them, but aren't they supposed to be prohibitively expensive? So kind of like 3D printers, like they'll become really inexpensive in the years to come? Only the most modern buildings seem to be able to afford them. Do you have one in your house? Well, there's one in the Reinford Company's corporate headquarters, yeah. It'd be nice if my mother could spare one. You know, for the academy she sits on the board of directors for. Seems a bit much to hope for. This is a military academy, so I doubt we can expect to be indulged quite that much. Still, a machine to help us keep cool in the summer? Whoever first invented that should get a medal. I'll admit, the summer heat here is more difficult to cope with than in Legram. But as long as I think of it as another part of my training, it doesn't bother me all that much. Boreahard gets similar summer heat waves, but there's usually a breeze blowing in from the canyon at this time of year. That does make summers a bit easier to manage. My hometown's up in the mountains, so it's pretty cool even around this time of year. Actually, now that you mention it, your hometown is like the only one we haven't been to on a field study. And Laura's, I guess. And Emma's. Emma. I would have thought you three would go back home for the summer, being nobles and all. You were given permission, weren't you? If everyone else was going home, I would have considered it. But in the end, I decided against it. I mean, it wasn't all that long ago I got to see Elise. Maybe next year. I came here to train. Until I feel like I've made significant progress, I have no intention of returning home. Some of you saw my father's mansion. Do you think I'd go back to a place like that willingly? I'd much rather stay here and take my chances with heat stroke. You're really that uncomfortable at home, huh? Still, hot as it is, there's a lot going on right now. I doubt all the people headed to that conference at the end of the month have much time to be worrying about the heat. You make a good point. You're talking about the West Zemuria Trade Conference, right? Ooh, what's this? That's the one. There's never been an international conference on that scale before, at least not in modern times. Mayor Dieter Kraw, who also happens to be the International Bank of Crossbell's CEO, was the first one who proposed it. I've heard that Prince Olivert will be attending on behalf of His Majesty the Emperor, and Chancellor Osborne is supposed to be attending too. Man, seems crazy to think that we met them both just a few weeks ago. The Chancellor in particular was a pretty intimidating figure. Seemed like a big scary monster. This guy, I've heard he served in the Imperial Army before becoming a politician. Right? Him and Van Dyke, right? Then, 11 years ago, His Majesty entrusted him with the position of Chancellor. Supposedly, a full 70% of the Imperial Army is under his jurisdiction. So who's got the other 30%? The royal family? His real fame comes from establishing most of the nation's railway network centered on the capital. Though he's also been responsible for annexing several smaller countries and independent states around Erebonia. I believe those all took place without any bloodshed though, at least as far as I'm aware. I wouldn't put too much stock in what he's selling. Military spending in this country has increased exponentially since he took up his position as Chancellor. And that's only possible thanks to the tax revenue it gleans from the people of Heimdall and those annexed nations. Well, he was the one who ordered the construction of those railway guns they've got pointed at Crossbell too. At one point, Erebonia was on the verge of a full-scale war with Calvard because of those things. Oh yeah, I heard that it was actually Liberal that proposed a way to avoid an armed conflict. They ended up signing the Non-Aggression Pact, right? Yeah, though I'm sure you've noticed there's still quite a bit of tension between the two countries. I wouldn't be surprised if the issue reared its head again during the trade conference. Chancellor Osborne's been a really popular figure in the capital, though. Popular enough that he seems to have a group of terrorists after him. Yeah, these guys. He does seem to be the Imperial Liberation Front's main target, doesn't he? You know, the hammer of judgment that shall topple the dictator and all that. Indeed, they seem to harbor a deep-seated grudge against him. Their anger seemed a bit unusual in its intensity, didn't it? He does seem like the type who'd make a lot of enemies, especially with a face like that. Well, I'd rather not speak ill of my father's close ally, but... yeah, I can't really deny it. Come to think of it, isn't the instructor awfully late? I thought this was after class. It's well past time for homeroom to start. Wow. Instructor Sarah's got to be doing something though. She had her game face on in Heimdall. True. It should have started about 10 minutes ago, actually. I swear, that woman. She'd better not be sleeping off another hangover back at the dormitory. Wouldn't put it past her. I wish I could say there's no way our upstanding instructor would do that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Excuse me. I'll have you know I did no such thing today.
Hey, it's the small victories, right, Instructor Sarah? Welcome to the classroom. Instructor?
Good morning, Instructor.
Morning, everyone!
I love how gung-ho she is. I don't think I liked Sarah in the beginning. No, I think I did.
Anyway, I'll have you know I've got a good reason for being late today.
Oh, this should be juicy.
And that reason is, we're going to be welcoming a new classmate today.
I'm legitimately surprised. I was talking a lot about how there are 9 people in the class being odd at the beginning of the game, but I just kind of got used to it. But I'm gonna guess it's Millium. What?
A transfer student at this time of year?
It's like halfway through. No, it's like a third of the way through, actually.
Seriously?
All right, come on in.
Millium.
Righto.
Crow? No! I don't want Crow! Ah. Huh?
Crow?
But Isn't he a second-year student?
I don't want Crow in the class! What?
I'm Crow Armbrust.
No!
Starting today, I'll be joining you fine folks as a member of Class 7.
No!
It's gonna be pretty sweet, guys.
I did not want Crow! Ah, this sucks. What?
What? I mean, how?
Are you sure you want to know? It's a long tale fraught with the intrigue of school politics.
No! I don't want to know it. I don't want you in the class. Ah.
I don't think I'd put it quite like that. Back in his first year, he slacked off so much that he ended up failing a few of his classes.
So?
Then he came crying to me in a panic like, oh, help me, Instructor Sarah. They're not gonna let me graduate. So as a special exception, he's going to be joining us for the next 3 months to pay for his laziness.
No! Put this joker on community service or something.
You can't be serious.
Right? Kick
That's
him
an even more
out.
pathetic reason than I was bracing myself for.
I wanted Millium, dude.
I think you already know that Crow was one of the trial users for the Arcus test they ran last year.
So Millium had one.
So I thought he might be a good role model for you. In that sense, anyway.
No!
And don't forget, he'll also be joining us on our future field studies, too.
No!
Nice. Looks like you saved me the trouble of having to explain it all.
Idios, dang it, dude.
Anyway, let's let the good times roll.
Ugh.
Oh, and since we're all classmates now, no need for all that sweet talking you lay on the other second years, all right? Right.
Easier said than done, I fear.
If he was any more laid back, he'd be comatose.
Instructor, I can't help but notice you left the door open.
Wait, is there someone else too?
Huh? Are you serious?
Millium, please!
Oh, I was hoping to catch you off guard.
I mean, you did. I didn't think there was anything significant about that.
All right, come on in and say hello.
I thought you forgot I was out in the hall!
Thank Adios! Yes! Millium! What?
What?
You must be joking.
No, dude, this is awesome! I remember Millium game.
Aren't you?
You're the girl we met in the Nord Highlands. Yuppers! Long time no see, guys.
Isn't she like 12 though? Why is she wearing that
I see a couple
hat?
of you I don't know, so I guess I better introduce myself. I'm Millium Orion.
Oh.
And this here is Eric Getlum, but we'll just call him Lammy for short.
He put his hands on his hips. Or it put its hands on its hips? Lammy put Lammy's hands on Lammy's hips. I don't freaking know.
What the hell is that? Holy crap!
It's that thing we saw at Ark's fort.
So this is that strange girl you met in the Nord Highlands.
Was Feet with us when we met Millium? Auroch's Ford.
Oh, and a little house rule before anything gets blown up. No bringing that thing out in the classroom.
The one time Instructor Sarah is no fun.
If he accidentally smashes a wall or blasts through the ceiling, I'm the one who's gonna get chewed out for it.
All the pieces just fell into place. So, Lammy is a he.
Boo! Fine.
I think he's sad.
Anyway. Nice to meet you guys.
She's like 12 though. Tell me you're kidding. Please?
I really wish I could.
Well, I can see we're in for some fun times these next 3 months.
Yeah, okay, Crow. Thank Adios! I was so not on board with just Crow. Man, And isn't Jellica the noble? 3 days went by. At first, no one was sure what to make of Crow Armbrest and the Intelligence Division agent Millium Orion's sudden transfer into Class 7, but within a matter of days, it almost felt like they'd been there all along. I'm sure none of you need to be reminded that it was none other than Emperor Drycles who ended the War of the Lions. But did you know that historical records tell us he had amazingly few soldiers under his command? Initially, his allies numbered only a few confidants and several warriors from Nord. And while supporters rallied to him in each region, his ranks still couldn't hope to compare to the other prince's armies. Nonetheless, they continued to advance, liberating region after region, and after half a year of bloody battles, Prince Drycles met perhaps his most well-known supporter, who is Millium, right? Would you happen to know the historical figure to whom I'm referring?
Sure do. Leanne Sandlot, also known as the Lance Maiden.
Ooh, right you are. Well done. Sandlot was the daughter of a count who ruled over a remote region, and accounts tell us she showed great martial skill from a young age. In particular, her skill with the lance was unparalleled. No records exist of her ever being bested in combat. The Lance Maiden also had a group of mighty warriors under her command who fought alongside her in battle. Perhaps you'd like to illuminate us as the name of this famous band, Reem?
Oh, man.
I should know this, though.
Freaking Crow! Look at this joker.
The group of mighty warriors led by the Lance Maiden. That's the... Eisenritter? It's not Gralsritter. Eisenritter sounds right. Cause Stahlritter, I haven't seen in the game before ever. Gralsritter, I haven't seen in the game before ever. But Eisenritter sounds like something someone was talking about at some unidentified point in the past during my playthrough. I guess let's go with Eisenritter. The Eisenritter, also known as the Iron Knights. They were a band of knights said to be able to charge across the battlefield like lightning, cutting down all in their path. Correct! You've done your homework. I mean, if you say so. The Wandering Prince met the Lance Maiden one day during a prolonged conflict in a remote region of the country. After recognizing each other as reliable and trustworthy, they pledged to fight together under a united banner. With the Lance Maiden and her knights bolstering his ranks, Drycles' army swept through one region after another. And in just a year, he was able to defeat the other princes and free the imperial capital, Heimdall. As an interesting footnote, the castle the Eisenritter used as their base of operations 250 years ago just so happens to only be a hop, skip, and a jump away from Laura's home in Legram. Can you guys guess whose home we're going to next on the field study? So Laura must have known that. Indeed, it's known as Lohengrin Castle. It's a beautiful old building situated on the shore of Lake Ebel to the west of Legram. Oh, you've mentioned that before.
Does anyone live there now?
No, due to the dangerous terrain there, no one goes near it. These days, it exists simply as a relic of a bygone age. The Arseed family is responsible for the care and maintenance of the castle, though really, only minimal work is done. Speaking of the Arseed house, wasn't one of your ancestors the Eisenritter's second in command? Indeed, the Lance Maiden's most trusted assistant and confidant from what I understand. The Sandlot family line ended with the death of the Lance Maiden. And it's partly because of that the Arseed family mourns her death each year. I see. Ooh, what a fascinating story.
Legram, huh? Never had a mission there, so I've never been able to go. Maybe I should have stopped by when I went to Bereahard a while back.
Bereahard. Why did everyone sweat drop? You'd think she'd at least try to conceal the fact that she gets sent all over the country on secret missions.
I know! She totally just let it slip that she was doing something in Bereahard too.
Well, I suppose it's better than her being all distant and cagey around us. Yeah, it's true, she could be super extra secretive. AP increased by 1, see that's what I'm after. Frickin' Crow. Oh well, we got Millium out of the deal. Okay, so tomorrow's a free day, which means that next Wednesday you'll have your usual practice exam. You'd all better bring your A game. Oh, Millium and Crow, a few must-have instructional materials you guys are going to need as part of Class 7 finally showed up. I'll hand that stuff off to you once we're done here, so I want you to come with me to the faculty lounge. Rightio. Man, what a drag. Alright, homeroom's out for the day. Flee while you can. Machias, if you'll do the honors. Yes, instructor. All rise. Bow. Kirits. Re. Alright, so they're gone. Materials they'll need for Class 7. They both already got Arcus units. So, what do you think? Well, I don't think we have to be on our guard around her at least. Same. Though, I'd rather she kept that giant silver thing of hers hidden. I don't think she's a bad girl. I am honestly surprised that Fee and Millium don't know each other. I was taking a nap in the courtyard yesterday, and she came and fell asleep next to me. What does that have to do with whether or not she's trustworthy? They look like a couple of kittens all curled up together. Their personalities may be worlds apart, but they're both rather cat-like in their own ways. She can't be more than 12 or 13, still practically a child. Yeah, you're right. She's so chipper all the time that it's hard to really be cold towards her. Yeah, I don't think I could bring myself to spurn her. She's got this natural charm, I think. Be that as it may, her presence here reeks of blood and iron if you take my meaning. Oh, that's what he meant! Well, it certainly seems that way.
As such, I'm planning on granting you a bit of additional assistance.
Huh.
I should have it ready for you in a few weeks' time.
It's hard to believe a girl like that could be an agent of the intelligence division. But, just going off what happened in Nord, there's not much that would make me doubt it now. And then there's that thing, Aragetlum, that's always with her. She calls it Lammy, but aside from its name, we don't really know anything about it. Or so you say, Emma. It seems to be made from some strange material with both metallic and ceramic properties. Hard, but pliable. Agreed. It doesn't look like anything you could make even with the most cutting-edge orbital technology. When I touched it, it felt really nice and cold. Wow, so you actually touched it? It hasn't escaped my notice that it seems strikingly similar to the combat shells we fight in our practical exams. I think it's safe to assume that they share some kind of common origin. Yeah, the instructor said she was forced to accept it. Though, in a sense, Millium was forced on us too. You're welcome to think what you will, but I don't trust her. I wonder... Either way, she's technically our classmate now, like it or not. It may be a little early to tell whether we can trust her as a friend, but we should be able to figure out pretty quickly whether we can count on her as a member of Class 7. So I'm guessing my next group is gonna be Reen, Emma, Eustace, Crow, and Millium for the field study. Oh no, it'll be all of us! But Millium and Crow weren't there! Well, that's a logical way of breaking it down, at least. You're right. It's still pretty early to make sweeping judgments. Knowing her background would be great, but what's really important is whether we can count on her in a fight. Agreed. As students of a military academy, that's probably the most important issue. We'll have to wait and see. Well, considering we're living in the same dormitory, it'd be good if we all got along. Yeah, I wouldn't want her to think we're trying to make her feel unwelcome either. And then there's Crow. What's he like, Green? You seem like you get along with him pretty well. He did help us save Elise. I don't know if I put it quite like that. If I had to say, I describe him as a capricious gambling addict way too prone to ante up for every hand. Adios help us. He sounds like the kind of miscreant one would be better off avoiding. You can count on him when the chips are down, though. He really helped me out last month when Elise went into the old schoolhouse. He's good in a fight, and pretty handy with his Arcus, too. Maybe we're worrying over nothing, then. Still, I'm not really sure how to connect with him, you know? Well, at least we're in separate dorms for the time being. We'll just have to see how things go. So, do I have free time now? Yep. And this theme that I love. Alright, and there's Crow's desk, and Millium is sitting up here? Someone was moved over to make room for Millium, but of course, now that I noticed that little detail, I can't remember who. Anyways, it looks like, I don't think we're in the final stretch of the game, because we're nowhere near level 60, which is usually about where JRPGs end. So the game must go on past August. Anyways, we're gonna call it a part here, and we're gonna pick things up next time. So definitely join me then for more Trails of Cold Steel. Bye for now, guys.